All right. Welcome in to an afternoon, at least here it is. Maybe West Coast, it's still morning, but afternoon baseball and coffee. I am in Cincinnati, Ohio. Beautiful Cincinnati, Ohio. Ready to do a little afternoon show. Hope everybody's good out there in YouTube and TikTok land. We got some, just make sure I got the chats working good. Got some people in here. Much appreciated. Everybody that's here today, of course. Okay. Yep, still 9 a.m. for you out there in the West Coast. Dawn Pia was the first person in here today. So what's up? How you doing? What's up, the Grounds crew? Everybody in the Grounds crew. Phillies Reds tonight, yes. Chase Burns and I think it's still TBA for the Phillies, although I think it might be a major league debut. So should be good. Should be good. Should get some good action tonight. So we'll do a little studying for that on the back end, and on the front end we'll watch some notable people, like probably Skenes and Wheeler would be my guess. To answer your question, will I speak with Tito tonight? Yes, Tito and Donnie Baseball. I'll be able to speak with both of those folks today, so that'll be great. That'll be great. All right. Are we getting some draft talk today? I was thinking tomorrow. Tomorrow I'd really lock in on the draft. Tomorrow or the next one. Or the next day. Because it's coming in hot. But today, since I can't dedicate the whole show to it, I probably won't do draft today. Sorry, Evan. Thoughts on Matthew Boyd's return from the IL? Well, it can only help. Cubs definitely could use some pitching help at the moment. Matthew Boyd's been really effective when he's been healthy over the last year or two. So, anyway, that's good. I guarantee you I've DM'd you pissed before. All right, well, probably not, because I insulated myself from all possible reach while I played in New York. So, probably not, but I would get it. I get it. Except, I mean, I wouldn't do it, but I get it. All right. Skyrockets in flight, yes. Are you going to touch on the abandonment rule that was in play yesterday that wasn't called? I'd like to see it, because I'm in the dark on that, and then I guess we could do that a little bit. Thought on Brian Woo's performance? Haven't seen it yet. He's a possibility for today. Appreciate this comment right here. TJG164. Do teams use AI to help with analytics? I'm sure, but I think it's a little different for every club. All right, let's hit the standings. Let's hit the standings in the coffee cups. Let's see where we're at. And then, yeah, I definitely want to study a little bit for my game tonight. It was Phillies and Reds, game 2. Oh, game 2, Phillies staff members were ejected arguing. Yeah, but I don't give one CRAP about that human. It's just he's contributing to the negativity of the fan base. All right, here we go. Tampa Bay beat the Yankees yesterday, 53-36. They are now back up to 4 games up. That series is split. They beat up Will Warren pretty good. Boston officially out of the cellar in the American League East at the moment. They have passed the Orioles. Orioles are now last place team. Red Sox have been hot. So if you want to believe in something and you're a Red Sox fan, I mean, they're giving you a lot of reason. They played great baseball over the last 20 games or so, 8-2 in the last 10. AL Central, White Sox game up on the Guardians. 3 back is the Twins. Twins have played good baseball as of late versus the Yankees, and then also winning last night versus Cleveland. They're only 3 back, and they're 2 under 500. Crazy in the American League. Kansas City and the Mets had a crazy game last night. Royals did win that. Seattle, half game up on Texas. I think Texas is going to go for it at the deadline. They're a sneaky team that I think is going to try to do some things this season. Same with Houston. I think a lot of people are going to try to go get it in the AL West maybe not the reeling A's, but the Mariners, like, they're kind of pot committed, so they might do a little bit more. You can never count out Jerry Dipoto, but I think the Rangers and the Astros feel good about themselves. NL East, Braves, they've lost 3 in a row. They're only 2 ahead of the Phillies. There's no separation there anymore. That really went away quick. Marlins also only 3 back. They're 50 and 42 and rocking at the moment. Mets find a new way to lose last night. They're 38 and 54. NL Central, Brewers 7 up on the Cubs. The Brewers are a machine at this point. I think they won both games of the doubleheader versus the Cardinals last night, as the Cardinals have now lost 4 in a row. Reds, the team that I am covering tonight, 41 and 49, kind of not in a great spot unless Chase Burns is on the mound or unless any of their main 3 hitters hit. In the West, Dodgers did lose last night. They are still 14 up, so no big deal there. Let's go to the coffee cups. Load them up. Load them up. July 7th, offensive winner. I mean, hard to beat out Mr. Ryan O'Hearn, 4 for 5 with 10 RBIs, 3 home runs last night. Obviously, he's the winner of the coffee cups. AJ Ewing of the Metros, 4 for 4, home run, 3 RBIs, 4 runs scored. Tyler Tolbert, we should probably watch his streak. I mean, geez, Tyler Tolbert has tied a record, I believe, with the most consecutive, well, I guess it finally ended, but most consecutive plate appearances with a hit. Ben Rice had a nice game for the Yankees in a losing cause. WPAs for the offensive side, Tyler Tolbert, AJ Ewing, Ryan O'Hearn, so no real change there. Pitchers, Zack Wheeler, 7 innings, 14 punchies, so we'll be watching that. Jacob Mizorowski, 7 innings, 11 punchies, did give up 2 home runs. I think it was Jordan Walker and who's the other one? Ivan Herrera, I believe. Taj Bradley with a really great outing for the Twins. 7 innings, 1 run. Robleski, 7 innings, 1 run. Matthew Boyd off the IL. We just talked about him. 6 innings, no runs. Payton Tolle, 6 innings, no runs. So a lot of options on the pitching side if we want to get into it. Skubal versus the A's also last night. 5 innings, 1 run. DeGrom gave up 2. Skenes was somebody that we've been checking. A lot of pitchers, a lot of directions to go on the pitching side. Taj Bradley wins the WPA. Matt Boyd, Zack Wheeler. Let's check in on our prospects. I need to update the prospect rankings, so these are a little out of whack, but Blake Mitchell, home run, Jefferson Rojas, a lot of home runs on the prospect side today. Duno, Davalan, and Max Clark. Pitchers, last night, Jamie Arnold, 6 innings, 4 Ks, 1 run for AA Midland. Gage Wood, 3 innings, no runs there, so that's the coffee cups for last night. I mean, shoot, Ryan O'Hearn, Tyler Tolbert, those seem like pretty good options. And then there's the Wheeler and the Paul Skenes situation. If you've never been on baseballandcoffee.com, you can go to the resource tab and then you click on Coffee Shop World Tour. I really wish I did this while I was playing. We would have had 300 coffee shops up here. Right now, I've only got, what are we up to, like 13 or 14? 14 so far. I'll log a 15th one today that I just hit in Cincinnati. Deeper Roots. So anyway, just fun, kind of a little log of all the different spots where I am grabbing coffee from day to day. So let me hop in the chat and then we'll see what direction we want to go in today. How do we get in contact about working together? You can always write an email to me, baseballandcoffeetheshow@gmail.com. What else we got here in the chat? Asking this because I'm a masochist. Can we watch Zach Gallen start from last night? It's not top of mind. We'll see how this day takes us. Guy who got 12 hits in a row, Tolbert. I've never heard this one before. I've heard a lot of things before, but never Blake Griffin. That's funny. Do you think the Sox have a shot at the playoffs? I do. American League's weak enough. And you can't deny that the Red Sox have one of the best pitching staffs, especially starters. So, anyway, have a great day. This is a tough question to answer right now at the moment. But yes, I would be interested in managing a really good team at some point. Do I think the Reds have a shot at the playoffs? No, I don't. I think the Reds are reeling, but we'll find out. Anywho, you know what, though? We talked about locking in on Paul Skenes. You know, there's been a lot of scuttlebutt about his velocity. I kind of took the opinion that, you know, look, it's a little bit unreasonable to expect him to sit 100 forever. But that I did still think he would pitch well. I think the breaking ball inconsistency has been a part of the story for Skenes this year. So anyway, he ends up pitching last night versus the Braves. 6 innings, 8 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. He's still having a really good season. But I want to start with Skenes just because, like, I want to make sure I know what I'm talking about with him, whether I think there's a problem or not, you know? So let's look at the player breakdown. I know that there's been some mechanical changes, but I tend to be less overreactive to mechanical, you know, tweaks or something drifting in one direction or another than others, just because I know from playing that these things kind of tend to, you're always drifting one way or another with your delivery. And yes, it could be part of the story, but I tend to not freak out over it, especially when a guy's been super effective, you know, regardless of the velo. I mean, look, he still averaged 97 miles an hour last night on his 4-seam fastball. So I'm not like going to freak out about Paul Skenes' velo sitting 97. To me, probably more sustainable than sitting 100. But anyway, here's what we got. 48 4-seamers. I do think he's been throwing a lot of 4-seam fastballs, much more than I feel like he did earlier. We'll check in on that in a minute. 17 splitters, which I think is his best pitch. 10 changeups, which also was a pitch that had heavy usage last year when he was dominating. Sweeper, 8 of those, 6 sliders, and 6 sinkers. So again, pretty small share of breaking balls overall. 14 out of 95 pitches are breaking balls. Everything else has arm side movement, 4-seam splitter, changeup, and sinkers from Paul. Now, before we even watch this outing, let me just take a quick look at his overall usage on the year. 39% 4-seamer, 16% changeup, 16% sweeper, which it feels like that's been declining. And then only 6% slider, splitters, and sinkers in over there. And you see this jumble of movement pattern. Not a lot of separation between these pitches movement-wise, but I think that they have good they're all at different speed levels. They're all at slightly different speeds, and so he can read, you know, timing, forward, backward, front and back is what we would call that, timing. He can read that pretty well throwing this cluster, but it is interesting. He doesn't have a lot of separation there. I mean, almost no separation between his changeup and his sinker. Anyway, going back to 2025, fastball was at the same spot, so not really hardly any usage difference from 25 to 26. Yeah, not really. Nothing. I mean, a little more changeup this year, but nothing crazy. Going back to 24, yeah, much more splinker usage. There was a curveball involved that doesn't exist anymore. All right. Interesting to note, but let me backtrack to his outing and again, look at his stuff here. So 64% first pitch strikes. He only had the 1 walk in this game, which is great. Allowed some hard contact on the 4-seam, so we know what to look out for. All right, so Braves, Pirates. And the Braves, not in a great moment right now. They blew that game. Well, they didn't blow the game, but they lost the extra inning game to the Mets, end up splitting that series at home versus the Mets. Then they come out and lose to Skenes here in the first game of this series. They have the Phillies hot on their tail. They just need to find themselves and not worry so much about you know, maybe the standings right now, just correct their own issues. All right, Paul Skenes versus the Braves last night. Let's check in on this. Starting off with Michael Harris. Otto, as a manager, would you call pitches from the dugout? Absolutely not. My goal would be to educate my catchers and especially my catchers, but also my pitchers on, you know, how to play the game pitch to pitch. I think that would ultimately be the best thing I could do for our team, and then give them the freedom to work within that because they know what type of conviction they have in the moment. And they have a better viewpoint than I would have from the dugout. So anyway, all right, so immediately falls back 3-0, then goes 2 heaters right down the middle to Mike. Gets the fly out to left. So that fastball beat him. Typical Paul Skenes fastball, not with anything spectacular of the shape, but seems to play anyway. Little surprised his pitch didn't get hit harder. But you know what? that happens. So 1 out there. Here comes Ozzy.
Let him just go and pound the zone.
And Ozzy Albies elected to start the game at second base for the National League. Now that's what hurt Brandon Lau. I think there are a number of good hitting.
There's a foul ball underneath that. So first couple fastballs he's thrown to these Braves hitters have played, including that one. Another four-seamer here. And another one here. So really spams the four-seam here early. Albies, that's a little bit too much for him. So good pitching there. Four-seam working. Now Matt Olson. That fastball also played. I mean, we just watched Matt Olson take a Devin Williams fastball up and away and drive it out of the park. He's underneath that one. So, yeah, I'd say first inning, fastball seems to be playing for Paul. Up in. Man, really spamming the four-seam. Another one that played pretty well at the top. Here comes a changeup. Kind of didn't get the hand there. Changeup coming again. And 98, and it's going to be a hit from Olson. Misses in and down. Very lucky he got this ball back. This ball's touched. I'm going to guess 106 off the bat. What do you guys think? Let's see. Ooh, I'm totally wrong. Only 100.8, but either way, really touched. Down in. Classic four-seam that gets hit mistake. Little pulled four-seam down in. So, whatever. Came out just trying to spam strikes here with fastballs. First two batters, it played very well. It was actually playing pretty well to Olson, but then he makes a little mistake. Here comes Drake Baldwin. All lefties so far in the lineup. You can see the Braves kind of reworked their lineup a little bit. Baldwin had been hitting 1 or 2, I believe, for a while. Back-to-back four-seamers in. Here comes a third one. So, man, just trying to go with a little bit of an old-school strategy here. Tons of fastballs. It's going to be a drop glove pick. That did not work. Try to, get through the lineup as much as he can with fastballs. Let's see how this works for him. 3-1, he's going to go to the splinker, and he's going to walk him. So, not great command. I mean, generally up, but I wouldn't say great command. Oh, Brett is calling me. Hey, I'm on the stream. What's up? I won't. I saw the text. All right, love you. Bye. All right, now a sinker to Dubon. That's Dubon, right? And he smokes it out to right. So really, got 2 quick outs. Couldn't put away Olson. Made a mistake there. Pretty non-competitive walk to Baldwin. And then a 1-0 sinker. So doubles up on sinker to Dubon here and gets burned for a hit. All right, here comes Dom Smith. That was the only righty he's faced so far. I haven't seen Austin Riley. Is he batting? Is he way down in the order still? All right, splinker, changeup. So now he comes off of his four-seam sinker spamming. And that's kind of the swing that we've seen him get from a lot of lefties over the last year and a half. Is a lot of reach and rollover. So a little mini to the second inning. I don't care for calling pitches from the dugout, but it's clearly working for Miami, so more power to them. I do think it works in some ways. I'm not going to totally destroy the idea. Now, would I do it? No. But for me, what it's going to do is it's going to keep pitchers on an optimal usage. And I don't know if I'm assuming the Marlins also, optimize for matchups and stuff like that. So it's going to keep you on what the computer says is optimal usage. And that can be okay. But I think that the Major League game, especially in big games, especially in postseason games, is definitely played pitch to pitch. Ooh, a little sweeper there. I want to watch back these last 2 pitches. And so I just think when you get into the nitty-gritty, I think that what the pitch calling from the dugout's going to do is it's going to be incomplete, and it's going to leave a potential advantage on the plate. So here's 1-2 sweepers. We talked about his sweeper being a little inconsistent. This one had decent break on it, but he threw it right down the middle. And this one has good break, and he paints it down and away. So a good sign here. First 2 sweepers we see on the day. Makes a mistake with one and is able to adjust on the second one. So that's a good sign because that pitch, in my opinion, has really lacked effectiveness this year and consistency for Paul. Four seam up. Four seam up. Four seam up. Four seam up. So as much as he could, he really wanted to throw a ton of four seamers early. He's missing a little bit with his two strike pitches, though. A lot of non-competitive two strike pitches. Now that ended up being a pretty good spot. Down and away four seam. Yaz kind of runs away from that, flies it out to center. And here is Jarvis. So 9-hole here. Only two righties in the lineup in this game. All lefties otherwise. And yeah, I mean, a ton of four-seam fastball. Not exclusively, but a ton of it. Here's an 0-2 sinker. I bet you this is a four-seam just misread because there's no reason to go four-seam, away sinker there. And then that ball didn't look like a sinker, so probably a misclassification. And then here's the death ball pitch. Ooh, and it works there. Gets a little bit of downward break and gets underneath the barrel of Jarvis. This is the pitch he tried to work versus the Phillies his last start, and it didn't work, and I opined that it was because of his low hand position on the ball. When you want to throw a death ball, you see where Paul's hand is right here. I mean, it's pretty low. The bottom line is your fingers aren't on top of the ball. And when you want to create downward break, you like to be a little bit more on top of the ball so you can kind of get through that gyro spin and spin it with the nose down. Problem is the nose is going to be up a touch from the low slot. So even if you do spin it well, which he does here, he gets negative drop. You can see from the visual here, it's not very, it's not angled down. Now, it had nice deviation late, and he gets the swing and miss. It's a good pitch, but I think ultimately he's going to find that this pitch is not going to be as effective for him as he'd like it to be. And a lot of it is just a limitation of the arm slot. If you want to be down here, it's a lot more effective to start from a higher release. So anyway, that's food for thought. I thought he went to it, clearly looking for some chase below the zone last game versus the Phillies. And I just think he's going to struggle with this pitch. I know in his mind, he probably thinks it's like, oh, a really nice thing to bring into the fold. But I just think from my own experience that he'll throw a few that'll be encouraging, but consistency will be tough to find. And the reactions of the batters will be not as good as you hope, throwing a death ball, gyro ball type pitch from that type of arm slot. There's another one right there, 0-2, tried to throw it, didn't get it below the zone. Harris takes him down the line. So here's another example of what I'm talking about. This pitch is designed, it's 0-2. You're looking for chase from a free swinging hitter like a PCA or definitely Michael Harris. So you're trying to get down there. Even if you're down in here, you're cool with that. You just want to be low as hell. But when he throws it, even though it doesn't start particularly high, you notice because of the arm slot, there's not a ton of downward break, not a ton of downward angle. And it doesn't really get away from the bat. Harris can get underneath it. And even with a punchy swing, hits a double. So we'll see how he uses his pitch moving forward. I'll be curious his experience with it, if he can make it into a plus offering or not, honestly. All right, here's Albies. Splitter away. So this is also another reason why you throw so many four-seamers early if you can. An advantage of it is because then everything else will open up. That first splitter was a bad swing. Then you see Ozzy's more in time with the four-seam. So he's really tethered everybody to four-seamers now. Change up down. Change up again, and this is going to be runs. Great job by Ozzy to kind of just stick the bat out, catch it off the end, flick it into center. That's going to be the second run of the game for the Braves. I don't think this is a bad pitch. I actually think this is actually a pretty good pitch. And just sometimes a guy has really good plate coverage. Albies has the ability to play coverage that, get the bat out across the entire plate and dink it into center. So I'm just going to give credit to Albies there. Probably the wrong pitch looking back on it. But I think not a bad pitch by any means. Good location. All right, here's Olsen, backdoor sweeper. I love that too because that's going to make his four-seam up and in play. Let's see if he goes to that right now. He does. So I just called it. Backdoor sweeper to four-seam up and in is a very good sequence right and left, especially power lefties. He messed with timing right there. That was a beautiful sequence. That was great pitching. All right, here's Drake Baldwin. Splitter away. Four-seam coming here. Good location in. So now all of a sudden he's executed about 5 or 6 pitches in a row. Of course, then he makes another mistake with a death ball slider and he gets away with it. So I'm going to tell you right now, it could have been a lot worse after this pitch. This is a bad pitch. This is a bad pitch, and he gets away with it. But I think that this offering, I understand what he's trying to do with it. He just doesn't execute it very well yet. It's not good enough yet. So, and the arm slot's low. You're fighting hard. I'm sorry, it is what it is. A little bit from this slot. Every guy with this slot will fight the same battle. All right, 2 outs. Man on first, Dubon. He went sinker for an RBI hit last time to Dubon.
Dubon had an RBI hit his first time.
Ayo, how did you create downer shape on a death ball from your similar angle? So that's the thing. I had to hike the arm slot up. From leaving my arm at my normal 25 degrees was not going to work. I needed to get higher. So when I could hike up to about 30 degrees or even higher, I could create a great death ball shape. Really hard to do it from this low slot. I'm pretty sure, I'll look at Paul's arm angle in a minute, but I'm pretty sure it's similar to mine. So I'm just saying, I mean, I have actually experience trying to solve this problem that I think he's trying to solve. There's another poor sweeper up, and then he's going to end up getting a strikeout on a fastball. So even without like any really like great breaking ball, he's still really good. I mean, he's going to dominate the counts. He's executing really well. But yeah, I just think right now his breaking balls, you have to say, are kind of, in my opinion, kind of minus pitches. I mean, the sweeper, I think he should throw it more in zone to righties, and I think he can use it as backdoor, and now all of a sudden it becomes sort of a plus pitch in my mind, but he's not going to get a ton of swing and miss on that sweeper. Four seam here to Dom. And yes, when he gets the four seam up, it continues to play. So that's pretty easy out there. In play, no out. Oh, Austin Riley's going to get a hit. First pitch, sinker down. Oh, and he just beats it out. So he needed that. I'm happy for you, Austin. All right, one pitch out here on a splitter to Yastrzemski. Beautiful, and that's why I love this pitch. It's got great depth on it. It's a ground ball pitch all day long. You get a guy with any type of flat bat path, or if he flattens out his bat path. Like Yastrzemski can get pretty scoopy, but up in the zone, he tried to flatten out here, you see? Look at that, flatten out. Beats it right in the ground, double play. Pitcher's best friend.
And look at that.
I'd like to see his percentages of four seam and splinkers get back to being a little closer together. That would be something I'd like to see as an adjustment for him, just from a usage percentage perspective. All right, next inning here, four seam bottom strike, and I think the velocity's been good in this game. Is he sitting 100? No. Do I care? No. I think a lot of people will make a big deal about that. I don't think that has had. I think that's had zero impact on his effectiveness in this game. Changeup hit, leading off the fifth. Back to the top of the order, Michael Harris. Splitter challenge ended up being a strike. Splitter again. Chases. Splitter again. So you see this time he doesn't go to the death ball slider. He's trying to get him to chase with something else because he hasn't executed that pitch yet. Changeup now gets him to chase off the corner. And they get nobody out. Very unfortunate. Let me see where the position players were. This has always been one of my pet peeves. I'm sorry. I mean, maybe call me old school a little bit. I don't like in double play situations where the pitcher is actively pitching for a double play to have an alignment that's less likely to produce a double play on a routine double play ball. Yes, I know Money Mike probably pulls it over here a little more often than over here, but you got to think about it. If there's a ground ball over here, you're no longer getting a double play because this dude has to run forever. And then even on the play that you watch right now, that results in no outs. Both fielders end up going for this ball. Nobody's covering, and they end up getting nobody out. So I don't like this. Personally, I don't like this alignment in a double play situation when you have a pitcher who can get a routine double play ball. I just think it is a little short-sighted, in my opinion. So, and frustrating when you're on the mound. So first and second, no outs. He's going to have to pitch his way out of it this inning. All right, Albies, who's had good swings against him. Splitter away, ball. Splitter fouled off, and then four seam. So downward, and then up shooter. Keeps it away, gets the chase off the plate, and a weak pop-up from Albies. So that was very fortunate right there, but that's also a little bit of speed, timing, tunneling going on there. All right, back to Matt Olson. Change up away, good pitch, good take. Backdoor sweeper that didn't break. See, I talk about the inconsistency. That only had 3 inches to the left. He needs to get at least 11 or 12 inches to the left. There's a splinker, beautiful pitch there. Gets underneath the barrel, and now he's going to go 4-seam up. Didn't get it high enough. This ball is actually hammered, and he's going to get the very fortunate 3-6-1 double play. Exit velo on this, I bet it's 100. 108. So this wasn't a good pitch, but it worked out. Olsen was all over that fastball. I think his fastball, it doesn't play as much in the middle as it does, I guess, when it's 100. So if you want to blame it on that, but it plays pretty good at the top or down and away. That was just middle. All right, last inning here, 6th inning. Drake Baldwin leading off.
And that was a turning point, I think.
Yes, this app is a private app called Dugout App. All right, 1-1 fastball up. So losing the zone a little bit, a couple non-competitive fastballs throughout this at-bat so far to Baldwin, and then he throws a perfect one right there at 97.7. So I think his velocity has been good in this game. I really don't have a huge issue with him sitting 97. I really don't. Nice pitch there. Good execution there. Popped out to left. All right, next up, Mauricio Dubon. 4-seam coming. Ball.
He was fastball heavy.
Swing through up in the zone, and then 98. Still plenty of velo on him. I mean, I know it's not the 100, but it's still plenty. You should be able to get a lot of outs with this with his pitch mix. Good swing by Dubon, though. He's going to end up with 2 hits off Paul, both to the opposite field. So good approach by Dubon there. So man on second, 1 out. Here's Dom Smith. 4-seam up, swing through, and then Splinker looking for that rollover. Gets it. Ryan O'Hearn, nice play. 2 outs, and then Paul's last batter is going to be Austin Riley. 4-seam up.
Starts in a row. The team doesn't win 9 consecutive.
That's a chase. Here comes the sweeper. Let's see if he throws a good one here. Yes. I know that looks like a hanger, but that had good break, and that's going to serve him well. 1-2. I love sweepers in zone, right on right. Change up down, good take by Riley. Now back to the sweeper. Ooh, another pretty good one there. I didn't have as much break as I would like, but better location. And then 4-seam gets it above the zone and gets the pop-up. So pretty good sequence there. You can see a little bit of frustration from Paul that he didn't get a strikeout. I think he's a little frustrated with his lack of whiff here. See? Gosh damn it. I'm trying to figure out how he can get to more whiff, but I think that's the reality of his sweeper a little bit right now. It's not going to be very whiffy. And I think that, his execution just becomes so much more important. Now, he can do it. He can clearly do it. But without any type of put away, swing and miss, breaking ball, fundamentally, he's got to get a lot of swing and miss with 4-seamers and changeups then, right? And that's not always the easiest thing to do. It's about timing. So here's his numbers on the season. The sweeper's got 27% whiff, which honestly I'm surprised at that. And they're saying the slider's got 37% whiff. But you could just see it right there. He really struggled to locate it, and he wasn't trusting it after a little while. Sinker and splinker aren't designed to get whiff, nor really is the changeup, although that's his highest whiff pitch. I don't know. He's been interesting to watch for sure. He's down to 1.2 miles an hour on average this year from last. And a little bit further back, if you want to go back to 24, where he averaged 98.8. So, yeah, I mean, look, more velocity would be nice, but he's also kind of equaling it out a little bit here with perceived velocity. His extension this year is 6.8 feet, whereas his extension in 2024 is 6.4 feet. So it's another almost half a foot of extension right now. That should make his 97 play like 98. And it really should kind of not matter all that much. I know he hasn't hit the triple digits, but as often recently, but I still feel like it shouldn't matter as much. And then another thing to consider is the extension part of this could be, it could be part of the mystery with Paul. I've talked about it before, but big, tall guys, sometimes they you get taught your whole life to like take this huge, giant stride, and sometimes it throws your torso out of alignment with your lower half, and you're not stacked, and you can't rotate as efficiently anymore. So maybe that's going on with Paul a little bit, dropping a little bit of velocity because he's overextending, perhaps in his delivery a touch. Ooh, this camera's ugly. Somebody needs to get a lens cloth out here. So it doesn't look particularly long to me. But I would say his hip-shoulder separation seems to be less than before. Like he's already kind of gone. Shoulder's not back anymore. So maybe that has something to do with the velocity drop a little bit. But again, in terms of how the ball is going to play from a perception standpoint, I don't see it as being a huge issue velocity-wise. I just think it's baseball, and sometimes you're going to get got a little bit. I know as that's a simplistic view of things, but you go ahead and look at the percentile rankings, and under the hood, everything has been pretty damn effective. There's really not a whole lot of drop-off in these numbers, at least, from the first two. I mean, the whip has barely changed. The strikeouts are about the same. He got beat up twice by the Phillies, and I think a little bit. If I were handicapping the issues that I've seen, velocity wouldn't be in my top three. It would probably be overall breaking ball quality and consistency, and then I'd say execution, and then I would say crediting the opponent and some poor luck on his side, like including the first game of the season versus the Mets was horrible luck. Horrible defense by O'Neal Cruz in particular in that game, a bunch of weak contact, and then one hard hit by Beatty. But I'm not panicking about Paul at all, and I'm surprised a lot of people are, personally. So anyway, that is my Paul Skenes thinking. We'll watch Ryan O'Hearn next since we're here, but let me hop into the chat for a second and see what you guys have to say. The Splinker and Death Ball have similar movements. It would almost be more effective to throw a cutter. So just to debunk that a little bit, they have about the same amount of depth to them. So these yellow dots right here are the death balls. And then these splinker dots right here, these turquoise dots here are the splinker. So you see 1.4 inches of rise and 1.1 inches of rise. So they have about the same amount of depth, but they have different amounts of horizontal movement. So they're not exactly the same. Look, I don't love cutters. Maybe he could throw a good one. I'd like to see it from his slot. I doubt it would have a lot of lift. So I don't think he has to change a whole lot. Just has to get more consistent with his sweeper, maybe a different grip on the sweeper. I wouldn't even mind a curveball. Hike the arm slot up there to cheat the curveball or death ball if you have to. Don't be afraid. I don't think the hitters can see that very well, personally. Is this the O'Hearn game? Yes, we're going to watch O'Hearn's at-bats next. Private app is called Dugout. I think this is just more of a results over process situation. He's still having a really good year, and maybe he got a little bit fortunate that nothing crazy, no games from hell happened the first 2 years, and he's had 2 or 3 games from hell this year, and that's part of baseball sometimes. As a lefty pitcher myself, how do I learn more about pitch sequencing and reading batters' swing? So the first piece of advice I would give you is when you try to learn from foul balls, notice on a foul ball whether the hitter was late, early, under it, over it, off the end, off the handle. Notice that, and then try to make a determination based off that information. And then from there, you can layer in other types of readings of the at-bat. But first, try to learn from foul balls. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Please, we're getting close to 11,000 subs on YouTube. I'd like to hit that number today, if possible. I'm a right-handed pitcher with a higher slot. Should I throw my 2-seamer or 4-seamer primarily? So you're going to have you're more likely to have a metrically good 4-seamer with a higher slot. But with a higher slot, if you can create a good sinker, you will have great VAA and it'll be more effective to you. So in a way, I would say high slot, I would prefer sinker. That would make you more unique and more of an outlier if you can throw a good one. But then again, I don't know how your arm comes through the ball, and there's a million different variables with that. Do I think Paul can still win the Cy Young? I would say no. National League Cy Young is going to be too tight, just too competitive. So I don't think he's gonna do that. Also, I'm throwing my two-seamer harder than my four-seamer, so I'm kind of stuck. That's fine. That's fine. Two-seamer can be harder than four-seamer. That's all right. Were you hurt during the WBC? Kinda. Yeah, just dragging my old arm out there to throw because I really hadn't trained it very much. So, can you calculate VAA? Is there a website that has pitchers' VAA data? So I have it on my site. This one right here called advanced-scout.com. And if you search for a player, like we just had Paul Skenes, I have other stats on here. They're not really that important. What's important is the VAA tool, which I have right here on the right, the approach path tool. So you hit open, full comparison, and then you get a little visual here, and then you can switch by pitch, and you can even compare him to another pitcher or whatever. So, for example, Paul's four-seam fastball, 73rd percentile in VAA on four-seamers, pretty flat, negative 4.4 degrees, which you can see up in the top window on the left there, which is actually pretty good. You want a lower number when you're talking about uphill. Let's look at his slider. So his slider's VA is negative 7.7, only 46th percentile. That's a little bit what I'm talking about with the VAA in terms of downward break. When you're throwing something for chase below the zone or something nasty that's got downward break below the zone, you want more angle. You want a higher number of VAA. Like you want to get close to 10 degrees if possible. So that's part of what I was talking about with Paul. Anyway, use this site anytime you want, advanced-scout.com. All right. What else we got here? Is Sanchez still in the mix for Cy Young? Yes, he is. Miz does not have it secured yet. There's so much season to go. Anything can happen. Yes, anybody can use Advanced Scout. There's some perceived velo on Baseball Savant. There's a way of doing that. What do you think of low slot guys who cut their four seam, have Arsenal-wise, the upshoot fastball is muted because it cuts? I don't think it's muted. I think cut can be a feature in that scenario, but I think it gives them the ability to throw a lot of different pitches from that type of profile, Kenneth. Do you know my boy Tyler Chatwood? Of course, longtime teammate of mine with the Rockies, and one of the nastiest pitchers we had in Colorado for a long time, really hard to hit. He had a season, this just makes me remember a really cool Tyler Chatwood season, where, yes, he had too many walks, but his lack of hits, especially at Coors, was so amazing. Yeah, I mean, look at this year. 2016, 3.87 and 27 starts for the Rockies, 70 walks, but only 8.4 hits per nine as a starter for the Rockies. Hard to do. A bunch of years like that where he pitched really well for us. So I just wanted to shout out Chatwood. At times, his sinker-cutter combo was devastating, and curveball. And I've seen him throw some dandy long games to a complete game in San Francisco. I remember one real just like butter, like knife through butter. This one game. All right. A couple more stuff in here, and then we're going to do Ryan O'Hearn, and then Zack Wheeler will be next after that. Do you think Skenes should have been selected for the All-Star game, and did Ashcraft get the right choice? I think Ashcraft was the guy. I voted for Ashcraft on the show when I picked my All-Stars. I think he deserved it over Skenes, in my opinion. I also feel like Wheeler is getting screwed right now. That would be Major League Baseball, Bushman. That's how I got it. When you threw your sinker, what was the main focus point for your fingers on the ball? I used to think pointer finger pressure. My pointer finger was on the train track. This one was actually my middle was actually slightly off the train track, but I used to think pointer finger pressure. So wanted to hit that. All right. So Ryan O'Hearn had a huge day yesterday, 10 RBI day. He's been a pretty dang good signing, I would say. Don't you guys think, for the Pirates this year? Hitting 293, 351, 500 slug, 851 OPS on the year for Ryan O'Hearn. They needed offense. He's provided that. He's been good. I know he was hurt for a touch, I believe, just a moment there, but comes back with a vengeance yesterday. Big RBI game. Pirates are going to need their offense to really kick it into high gear if they are going to get anywhere this year, if they're going to get to the playoffs. So anyway, this is the Ryan O'Hearn game. So we're going to watch all 5 at-bats. First at-bat's a grand salami off Hurston Waldrop. Let's check it out. All right, still 1-0 in the first, 1 out. Fires at a backdoor cutter that was meant for in and is underneath that for a foul ball. Here comes a splitter.
Look for a higher pitch.
Pretty non-competitive there, 1-1, and then he's going to blast him on a curveball. Let's see the swing here. Ooh, just middle hanger. You hang it, we bang it. I don't even think he got that good. I feel like he almost kind of top-spun that a little bit, to be honest with you. Yep, only 99.6 at 29, but it is a grand, the grandest of home runs, a grand salami for Mr. O'Hearn. Now, the sequence here was messed up. He's late and underneath the cutter. So what is he actually on time for? Something slower than that. Then they reinforce that with the splitter down. So even though he takes it, the fact that he took it so easily and wasn't out on his front foot should have told you that his timing is still he's in medium speed timing here. He is not sped up for a fastball. So they end up going curveball, which is fine, but you got to locate it backdoor down and away or below the zone or even top of the zone backdoor. You cannot throw it in the middle. And that's what he does. He throws it in the middle, and O'Hearn makes him pay. So good job making the pitcher pay for a mistake right there. And that's 4 RBIs with 1 swing of the bat. Here's the swing from the side. Very nice. All right, that's first at-bat. Second at-bat, also versus Waldrop. Splitter coming here. 2 on and nobody out here. So splitter take out of hand. He hasn't flinched on a splitter yet. Sinker. Also a take out of hand. And then slider in play runs. So a little 2-0 slider, still operating in the medium speed. And I think they kind of threw the ball into his barrel twice. So grand slam and then a 3-run home run. Looking for the home run cycle here early. Grand slam and then 3-run home run. Again, Waldrop should have probably showed him at least 1 fastball in.
What do you think that's going to be like?
But he doesn't, and this ball gets absolutely parked to center. Now, this one he hit better. I'm going to say 105. Yep, 105-1. Let's go, baby. 105-1. So, grand slam and 3-run home run, 7 RBIs in your first 2 plate appearances today for Ryan O'Hearn. That is awesome. All right, third time up. Now he's got Connor Thomas left on left. Here comes the sinker. Up and in ball. Sinker coming again. I think that might have been in there. Nope, ball 2. And now he's going to get out on a sinker. So left on left, sinker in is the play. Yep, got the rollover. That was a pretty quality pitch. His bat path could not cover that, so nice job there by Connor Thomas. All right, next at bat, also Connor Thomas. This time sweeper for strike. Sweeper coming again. Takes that one. Sweeper coming again. Takes that one. Ooh, left on left changeup. Non-competitive, so gets himself in a beautiful 3-1 count. Bet he's going to get a sinker here. No, he's going to get a sweeper. Let's see if it starts right at his butt. It does, and he launches it to right. There's the 10th RBI, the 3rd home run. So grand slam and 2 3-run shots. My God. What a day. What a freaking day, man. Exit velo 101.3. I would have guessed right around there. Or at least that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Let's see him hit a hanging left-on-left sweeper for a home run. So all 3 home runs are in the mid-speed, low 80s. Low 80s. Don't love that from a Braves perspective. All right, last at-bat, he's going to get another hit. This is going to be off the position player. Ooh, tarp's off. Cone's out, tarp's off. And he's going to get a hit off Jorge Mateo here for his 4th hit of the Wago. It's actually the slowest pitch he gets a hit on, and it's fastball. So, great day for Ryan O'Hearn. Man, career day. 10 RBIs, 4 for 5, 2 3-run homers, and a grand slam. Pirates are going to go because Sherrington's in the last year of his contract. They are by no means are they going to sell. They're going to try to chase it down in the central, wild card something. They're going to try to get in. They like their pitching, especially with Ashcraft and Skenes. And, they did a lot this offseason to try to improve that offense. Mangum's been good. Lau's been good. Reynolds has been good this year. Valdez has been interesting coming out of the minors. O'Hearn was a good pickup. Gonzalez was hitting for average. Like, they have done some things offensively. It's a shame O'Neal Cruz is out with a metacarpal fracture. Connor Griffin got hurt again, torn finger tendon. So, like, they're losing some of their momentum by some of these things that have happened. Like, these 3 hitters would be nice to have. But, you know, Skenes, Jones, Keller, Ashcraft, Chandler, they still like that. I know Jones hasn't been super effective. I know Keller's backed up a lot, but you got to love Skenes, Ashcraft at a minimum, and they're going to go for it. So I don't know whether they should. Maybe it's foolish, but I know they're going to. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works, and they're going to need guys like Ryan O'Hearn to keep banging. All right, we're going to do Wheeler next after the chat. Jared Jones starting to shove too. Bubba is coming around after a hard start. They're going to need those guys to gain momentum as they go here for sure. Pirates need bullpen help. I agree with that. OPS is top 5. I mean, they did a great job, no doubt, with their offense this offseason. I mean, they were so bad last year. So they did a nice job. As a pitcher, why do you think Austin Riley is struggling so much these past years? I've been stunned by this. He's one of the better hitters I saw. He was still young. You know, big part of the Braves core, World Series run, all that type of shit. And I don't know. He's a monster. Maybe not using right field as much. Seems like he's a little in between, not seeing the ball very well. O'Hearn is the player that the Mets should have went after as a replacement for Pete. I don't know if he was on the radar or not, but you're kind of right about that. Thanks, Gavin, for this comment. Straight facts. Try to spit some more of those tonight. Do a video of all the home run celebrations by the clubs who do that. I mean, definitely the cone has been a really cool thing this year with the Pirates, for sure. Is there any validity to the rumors that MLB is juicing the baseball? So there was a bunch of articles on this. I didn't deep dive this topic this year because I'm kind of sick of the ball controversies every year. But from what I read, there was some defects. There's some oily stuff. Yes, the ball had less drag and was carrying differently. We'll see. We'll see how this all works out. But kind of goes like that. Can't believe this is the same guy I watched for years in Kansas City. Good for him, though. You know what's funny, Prepsley, about that is he was pretty forgettable in Kansas City. I agree, Ryan O'Hearn. But I do remember one game against the Yankees. I want to say it was 2019 or 2020. Couldn't have been 2020. It had to be 2019. He hit 2 home runs oppo into the Yankee bullpen, into the visiting bullpen at Yankee Stadium, which were bombs against us. And I remember thinking, damn, like, he's got some thump. So I just remember filing that away. And then he ended up becoming a really productive player later, with the Orioles and then a little bit with the Padres. All right, let's do some Zack Wheeler talk. Wheeler got totally screwed on the All-Star selection because he's not lined up to pitch that day. He should have still been honored as a Cy Young winner, as an All-Star starter. I mean, All-Star member this year, and then he just gets replaced by somebody who can pitch in the game. And now you have 2 guys get the honor. I think that's crazy that he did it. But look, I watched Yamamoto pitch the other day on here, and I was thinking, and I said, and I even made a short about it. I clipped it. I think Yamamoto's the most complete pitcher in baseball, and I mentioned Wheeler as the other name that immediately came to my to my brain when thinking about most complete, meaning most ready for any style of opponent, and can do a little bit of everything out there, and is totally under control and can win without their best stuff. Max Fried, I would put in this list too. I know he's hurt right now, but those 2 guys, Yamamoto and this guy right here, Zack Wheeler, really stand out, and he must have been a little pissed off because he shoved yesterday versus the Reds. So we're about to watch that. But, man, I mean, look at these numbers. They're tremendous. 14 games since coming back from his TOS. 9-1, 2.28. Can I interest you in that? 87 innings, 98 strikeouts, 0.91 whip. Consistently sub-1 whip. I mean, he has really gone to another freaking level here in his 30s. And it's really cool to see. So let's get into this game from yesterday. Phillies Reds. Picking on the Reds a little bit here. Zack Wheeler, 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, no walks, 14 punchies, 1 home run, 104 pitches. Player breakdown on the game: 40 fastballs, 21 sweepers, 17 splitters, 13 sinkers, 7 cutters, 6 curveballs. He faced about an even split of righties and lefties. Huge whiff game, almost 40% whiff. Got 20 swing and misses in this game. 50% on his sweeper, 50% on his sinker, 45 on his splitter. Really, everything was great in this game. Only 56% first pitch strikes, but that seemed to not matter, and only 4 hard hit balls this whole game. So, yeah, this guy shoved. This was ridiculous. Maybe there was a little bit of a point being proven right here by Wheels. All right, 104 pitches. Let's do it.
Has been excellent.
Yeah, Zack Wheeler is
All right, Ellie De La Cruz starts him with the 4-seam. Here comes the curveball. Kind of amazing that he came off the IL and just picked up right where he left off. Little check swing below the zone there from Ellie. So Wheeler also has the low release, a la Skenes, very low arm slot at this point. I think he's 22 degrees. Curveball he throws, and he definitely raises his arm slot a bit on curveballs. And that would be my recommendation for Paul. Anyway, there's that fastball up in the zone. See ya later. Ellie De La Cruz. Next up, Sal Stewart. 95-1 strike. Go-to coffee order. I usually get an iced Americano, but I like a bunch of different stuff, a bunch of different things. Sal Stewart, good take above the zone. This is definitely the Reds' best hitter, pure hitter. Good take there, and then he's going to punch him out looking with a sweeper. Front door. So a little bit of a happy accident there for the second out. So punch out to start the game. And here is Blade. The Reds have been incredibly top-heavy at the top of their order. Other than these top 3 hitters, they really have done almost nothing at the plate this year. And there is Mr. Blade hitting a middle fastball to right for a single. So good swing there. Next up is Gino.
6 of his 8 homers have come at home this year.
4-seam sinker in. Sweeper away. How can Wheeler recover this well after TOS, but it derailed Harvey's career? So it derails most players' careers, but there's also 2 types of TOS. And I believe Wheeler had the less severe kind. Matt Harvey had the more invasive, worse surgery, harder to recover from version. So I think that's the reason. Favorite meal to cook? I like to make my village Greek salad with steak on the grill, some corn. Ooh, very nice sweeper there. Ooh, this is maybe the best sweeper I've seen him throw. He actually slowed it down a little bit, created more break, and gets around the bat of Gino and finish out the first inning with 3 punchies in the first inning. Very nice. So I like to do salad. I like to do sweet potatoes with all that. So a healthy meal, protein, vegetables, fruit, all that type of stuff. All right, that was the first inning. Second inning. What is your favorite coffee shop? Well, if you go to my coffee shop world tour on baseballandcoffee.com, in the resources section, you can see that I'm slowly building out all my coffee shops that I've been to or that I'm going to, from this point forward. Obviously, I'd love to have them for my whole life doing this, but I don't. But I would say Solid State right now is the only one that has achieved the 3-cup rating. Solid State's Upper West Side, New York City. It's my spot. Cutter in here to Nathaniel Lowe. That was a little bit of a risky pitch. You see him going a lot to this cutter to the lefties. Top shelf backdoor cutter. Here's a splitter. It's a pretty good battle here. Pretty good 3-2 battle here. Fastball in jammed. Does he have a shot to win Cy Young? Yes, he's got a shot. Absolutely. I mean, it's still an outside shot, but he's got a shot. Here's a backdoor sweeper. So this was a really good battle with Lowe, and he ends up freezing him with a backdoor sweeper. Really good 3-2 command on all of those pitches. I mean, he executed about 6 good pitches in a row right there. Sweeper away just off the corner, and now 4-seamer here to steer. Middle popped up. Now, Wheeler has the ability for his fastball to play middle quite often. He's got the 7.3, 7.4 inches of extension, even lower release than a guy like Skenes with better ball flight action. So his fastball's better and it plays better, and there's a reason why he can be a little bit more all over the middle of the plate at times. All right, first pitch strike to Stevenson. There's a sweeper. He's nowhere near that. Should probably double up on that. Yep, and it's going to work. When you see a swing and miss that bad, you don't mess around. You just go right back to it and see if he won't swing and miss again, which he does. So really dominant first 2 innings. And now we're in the 3rd inning. Friedel. Ball 1.
For 18, $167.
Toughest hitter you have faced in the playoffs? You know, probably Christian Yelich, Kyle Tucker, Michael Brantley. Those are some names that come to mind for
Check swing foul.
for playoff toughest matchups for me. Here's a swinging strike on a curveball.
2-2. Check swing.
Very nice. Now, I'd love to get the arm angles on each pitch because he's definitely raising up the arm slot on the curveball. Here's a four-seamer. It's subtle, but that he releases that right around hat height. Let's see the curveball. Little bit above that. Little bit above hat height now. So you can see the difference there, probably about 3-4 inches. But that's what I recommend, to get above your curveball and give it actual drop, which he has right here, and he gets below the zone for the swing and miss. So really nice pitch right there. All right, one out in the third. Here is Matt McLean, the prince who was promised. Four-seam taken all the way. Here's a sweeper. This is what I'm proposing Skenes to do a lot more of versus righties, is just throw your sweeper over the plate and let it work. This sweeper's no better than a Paul Skenes sweeper. Maybe it has more drop on it, but you see it's kind of middle, 2 speeds down. Pitch is very effective for a lot of reasons, right on right. Nice pitch there, back to the top of the order, and Ellie De La Cruz. Curveball, ball 1. Did Wheeler dropping his arm angle help with his breaking and off-speed stuff? The run value for them definitely improved, and he did not. I don't think it helped the angles, but I do think he's cheating his angle up a little bit. What I do think it did was it made his fastball even better, and now that changed bat paths for fastball contact, which then opens them up for breaking balls. So I think it did, but in a kind of an ancillary way. Like it helped his four-seamer and his splitter, and then from there it made his breaking ball more effective. I don't think the breaking balls have better angles or whatever because of a lower slot, if that answers your question. Four-seam up, beats him there, and then sweeper backdoor.
A lot of off-speed pitches.
Gets the chase and the roll over to Bryce. So clean 3 innings for Wheeler. We're on to the 4th. Here's Sal Stewart. Got him with a front door sweeper accident the first time. Just tries it right there, misses, gets it the second time. And, like, these are the pitches that I consistently got away with in my career, and everybody would always be like, oh, my God, look at that hanger. How did he not hit that? But there's something about the sweeper. The batter just thinks it's going to drop a little more than it does, and they slice under it. You see it all the time. And usually that type of foul ball gets the hitter's attention, too, and the hitter's like, throw me that again, throw me that again, throw me that again, and then you just don't. So I always felt like throwing a hanger like that, a perceived hanger like that with my sweeper really helped me a lot later in at-bats. Just like this one is a total happy accident here. It's a misfire splitter in. Sal Stewart goes to check his swing and makes contact and gives him a free strike, getting to 1-2. Now four-seam coming.
Wheeler at now 15.
3 inches would be almost impossible to notice from that slot. That is a fact. And that's why I don't mind guys raising or lowering their arm slots. It'd have to be so significant for you to find out. Wow. And then he's going to end up dotting him with the sinker down and in for strike 3. This was a totally unexpected pitch here from Wheeler and Real Muto, and just perfect execution down in. Nasty. All over the zone. Goodbye. Nice pitch. So it's not just like his stuff. It's also, you see, it's the sequences, it's the timing, it's the variety, and it's the execution. I mean, he's executed some really tough locations in this game. Perfect splitter down there. Turner's going to charge that. He struggled with that play the other day behind Sanchez, where he didn't charge one hard enough, led to a big inning. So nice play there by Trey. Sinker in ball. You know, I knew about this a few days ago. I actually ran into Justin at Garrett Cole's kid's birthday party, and I knew about this a couple days ago. Obviously, you can't report it, but yeah, he's going to be in there as the Legends pick, and this is going to be it for JV, which is crazy, I think. All right, 94 up, doors on Suarez. Again, when he wants to locate that fastball up with 2 strikes, look at that perfect location. And I just think that the low slots made that fastball even more effective over the years. Are you going to the All-Star game? No, I was invited and decided not to go. We have a family vacation coming up during that time, but I will be at Fanatics Fest on the back end, and then I'll be doing Mets Phillies on ESPN in Philly, first day out of the break. Another swinging strike here to low. See if he gets it up again. Yep, very top of the zone. It also probably helps, and I mentioned it a lot, that this mound is super flat in Cincinnati, so you're kind of throwing even more uphill to the top of the zone. So if you're a guy with a low slot ride fastball to the top, it's going to be even better, in Cincinnati, in my opinion. All right, one out here. Here is Steer. Tries to show bunt, gets a strike thrown in there.
So if you're standing in against him.
Yes, Ricardo, this is my merch, baseballandcoffee.com, the YouTube shop, also the TikTok shop. They have all of that.
I'm trying to hit that.
Booth tonight, Carl Ravitch on play-by-play, and myself and David Ross are the color commentators tonight, with Buster only on the side. That is the crew for tonight.
It's just the zone.
Do not forget to give me a like over here on the YouTube and subscribe. We are trying to get to 11,000 subs as soon as possible. Preferably today. So come on over, subscribe, join the Grounds crew. All right, 3-2 slider, front door, strike three. So he's done this twice now. Didn't mean to do this either time, but he did one to Sal Stewart earlier. This one's to Spencer Steer. It's another good thing about a sweeper. If you work away enough and you get somebody's attention, like over here, well, then something that starts in here, they shut it down, and then it just swoops right back to the corner like this pitch does. So I just think this pitch is, obviously I'm biased. This was like kind of my jam, but you see how effective it is for him to have an effective sweeper here. And that's one of the reasons why I think Skenes can still go up to another level. Just watch Wheeler do it. They're not all that different. Wheeler's just a little bit more, I would say, evolved. All right, four-seam base hit on a good ambush there by Stevenson. Stays through it, shoots it the other way. Good swing there. Here is Friedel.
Second red to reach, both on 2-out hits.
Wheeler might put himself back in the Cy Young race. Totally agree, Philly. He's close. I mean, it's going to be you got Sanchez, you've got Sale, you've got Shohei. You've got quite a few candidates here for the National League Cy Young. I mean, I can't even include Mason Miller. All right, he's going to punch him out looking. I bet you this is down. Wow, just middle. Not sure what. The fact that he went to take off his leg guard here is crazy. That his perception that this pitch is in. So sometimes you can just see that a pitcher has guys all screwed up when they just clearly don't know where the strike zone is anymore. So nasty first 5 innings. Here's inning number 6. Have you analyzed Gage's jump? Yeah, we've watched him quite a bit. Very impressive left-hander there. Thoughts on Max Meyer? I mean, he's been one of the breakout pitchers of the year. He's got probably the best 2 breaking ball combo in the big leagues, his short breaking ball and his sweeper.
Or in their baseball careers, you said that
ooh, splitter down to McLean. This was just flat out mean. The right on right, inside splitter down. This, there's a lot of sexy pitches in this game. Backdoor sinkers, front door sinkers. Four-seamers dotted on the corner, whatever, but splitter right on right, down below the zone like this always feels really good if you can execute this. I've done this with changeups a few times, and man, it feels good. You get the old knee bend by the hitter here. Oh, beautiful. All right, one out. On to the top of the order again. De La Cruz. Curveball, ball 1.
So what's the difference?
Splitter was moving.
I covered too much ground.
We already looked at Paul a little bit earlier. I'm not as big on the mechanical side of things as some other people when criticizing Paul. I think it's just a lack of consistency with the breaking ball and a little bit worse command, and also just a sprinkle of some innings from hell that he didn't have last year. This is actually a really good swing by De La Cruz. I want to give De La Cruz credit for this swing. Stayed on this ball, rockets it the other way. Doesn't get anything for it. That's baseball, but great swing there from Ellie. Here is Sal Stewart, who he has pretty much owned in this game. Sinker in, swing and miss. Sinker in again. This time it's a take. Sinker in again. Yep, I'm reading it just like you guys. He's diving. Gets the call at the bottom of the zone, and now they're going to go splitter. Yes, this is a great combo. If they get that same pitch he threw McLean. Yep, same pitch, goes down the line. He ends up beating it out for a hit because that's good hustle, but weak contact. This was a good pitch. This is actually a great job by Sal to even make contact on this, to be honest with you. So good baseball all around here. Good play by Bohm, did what he could. Good job by Sal to put that in play. Good pitch by Wheeler. Good choice, good everything. All right, next up. First pitch, splitter to Blade, swing and miss. Now comes a four-seam, probably up and in. Yep, up and in, fouled off, and now splitter again. This is just dominance. Splitter, four-seam, splitter, 3 pitches. See you later. We're on to the 7th. All right, here's the 1 run. It's a typical Eugenio Suarez home run. It's a breaking ball that he dives and hooks into left field for a home run. So, you know, easy one to move past. You're just trying to get ahead with the sweeper. He's actually usually more mid-speed hitter than he is slow. But this is what Gino does. He dives and hooks breaking balls for home runs. So kind of walked into it here a little bit, but again, I'm not criticizing the pitch choice. Just a good swing by Gino. I don't think he hit this very hard. I'm going to say 101. 96-2. 96-2, even weaker than I thought, but that's the Great American launching pad. All right, next up, Nathaniel Lowe, splitter down, called strike. Cutter coming here, back door. He's the only batter he's been throwing cutters to. Very nicely located back door there. He's 0-2. Four-seam up and in. Good pitch, good take. Four-seam coming again. Middle, but that, you see how that ball plays. It's still playing, and he's another guy who can throw 100. He's been 93, 96 this game. Mostly 94. And the fastball's still playing. Here's 95. Kind of middle, and Lowe just doesn't get to it. Fastball still playing. The extension's helping. The release is definitely helping. I think the low mound is helping too. And that brings us to a 1 pitch out here. Spencer Steer tried to go after the sinker. I love any way you can get a 1 pitch out. It's beautiful. Little pop up there, and then he's going to finish his outing, I'm assuming with the strikeout here of Stevenson. Going to empty the tank. 96. Probably the hardest pitch to date. Sweeper coming here. Nope. So 2 overthrown pitches to start off this at-bat. Then he gets right back locked in. Dots one on the corner. Fouled off. Now he's going to go in. 3 pitches away. Makes sense to go in. They challenge that. That's a ball. Good challenge. All right. 3-1 sweeper. That's just unfair. The ability to go 3-1 sweeper after all those fastballs. And then 3-2 splitter. These last 2 pitches are just mastery. These are masterclass. This whole at-bat's crazy. I mean, he literally, this just shows you how good he is. This is the end of his rope. He's at 98 pitches. He tries to empty the tank, overcooks the first one for a ball, overthrows the sweeper for a ball, then says, all right, I can fix it, stay in that spot, I'm going to hit it, dots the four-seam away, says, okay, everything's been away, I'm going to go in, dots that, even though it's a bit low, gets it overturned, says, shit, it's 3-1, all right, let me break off the slow pitch. He's on the fast pitches now. Perfect execution, 3-1. And then for good measure, let me throw another pitch he hasn't seen yet. Right on right splitter, 3-2. Goodbye. I mean, it's just master class. It's just unbelievable pitching. I mean, it's ridiculous. He didn't even have to do all that, and yet he did, and he shoved. So I'm with Wheeler. He should have been an all-star. I think it's absurd that he's not an all-star. I don't really get it. The numbers speak for themselves. He's not that far behind in innings, maybe like 2 or 3 starts. 2 starts behind in innings, but the results have been incredible this year. I mean, dude, what's he bad at? I'm trying to figure it out. Running game, but you don't get anybody on base. How is he on the running game? No, he's good at that too. So again, I think, yeah, that's the thing I've been wondering about. Who's the most complete pitcher in the game? Who's the guys that you know are ready for anything that can possibly be thrown at them? And right now, I come up with Yamamoto and Wheeler for me. I think everybody else, as good as they are, you know, they're not maybe perfectly complete. So I don't know. Maybe that's a crazy thing to even say, and it doesn't even matter, and it probably doesn't even matter, but that's kind of where I'm at. So anyway, that was a personal start for him to shove it in their face that he should have been in. Totally agree. Totally agree. Should have been in. The splitter was just there all night. Should have been all-star game. Is Great American Ballpark flatter / wider than others, or is just a TV angle? I'll tell you, from pitching on it, it feels super flat. I don't know about wider, but it feels so flat. So flat. You feel like you're throwing almost uphill there. So they'll deny it, but that's how it always has felt. Zack Wheeler really underrated, might end his career with no Cy Young. That would be crazy. He should have won it, in my opinion, the year that Burns won it. That's my opinion, though. So it does not matter. What is your take on how the Red Sox have been performing? I mean, shoot, they've been playing awesome lately. What can I say about them? They've been doing a really good job. They're getting themselves kind of back in on it, you know? It's been pretty good. Have I done DeGrom yet? No. There's so many pitchers to look at. I have to do some studying for my game. So I was thinking about maybe doing some studying here. Maybe we can do one more. I felt like Sonny Gray was all-star worthy. I think I might have had him voted in. Don't forget to join the Discord and subscribe. We're trying to get to 11,000 subs on YouTube, preferably today. We were only like 30-something away, so take all the likes and subs I can possibly get on YouTube for sure, but appreciate you guys in general. Any hitters you just couldn't seem to get out in your career? Brandon Belt. Guy freaking owned me. And honestly, second half of the matchups for Yasiel Puig, as crazy as it is. Yoshi's going to need a few crazy starts to get back in the Cy Young race. Yeah, I didn't mention him for Cy Young, but I do think he's, you know, doesn't matter. He could still get back in it. You never know. I think he's that good. I think Wheeler should have replaced Jacob Miz, to be honest. I agree with that. All right. What else do we have here in the coffee cups? I probably should do one more pitcher. And then... Oh, yeah, Tyler Tolbert with all the different hits. Maybe we should run through him really quick. How many games in a row was it that Tolbert got all these hits? I just want to watch the swings and just show you how improbable it is. He's now hitting 396. Game logs. When did it start? So it started Royals, Phillies. Last two games against the Phillies, and then ones versus the Mets. So Tolbert. The heck? What am I doing wrong here? He probably played in the first game and just didn't play in the second game. Yeah, all right, so it starts here. Here's the hit streak. So let's just watch all the hits. First one comes off of Luzardo. It's on a sweeper. Off the glove, so first one's lucky. Let's see how many of these are lucky. First one, lucky category. Second one. That's not lucky. That's a nice slash to the right side on a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. 103 off the bat. The other way. Very nice. Base hit there. All right, next one. Royals, Phillies must have been this game. Tolbert 5 for 5. First one off of Sanchez. I think this is the play that Trey Turner should have made if he charged it a little better.
And now a slow roller to short.
Yeah, I felt like he was a little slow charging here. Tolbert beat that. That ended up leading to way more runs in that inning. So I would say 2 of the first 3 are lucky. Here's the next one. Good swing there. So 2 for 4. That ball smoked. No hard. 105, 96. Okay, totally wrong on that. Next one. In play runs off of Banks. Oh, that ball's popped to left. Get up, ball. Gone. 102. Only 94. We're hitting 94-mile-an-hour home runs now. This ball is juiced. This ball's right into his barrel.
And now he
Ball's
drives one to
banged.
deep left field.
All right, next hit.
Single, a double, and a home run.
Off of Bacchus. Oh, another slow roller.
Boom. Cuts it off and throws.
Safe.
Made it again.
He's a speedy one. And then for the 5th hit of the day, off of catcher Garrett Stubbs. 36-mile-an-hour pitch. He waits back on it, lines that into center. And then yesterday versus the Metros, in what was absolutely an insane game, Tolbert starts with 5 straight hits in this game. Home run off of Senga. Oy, Senga. Looks good one outing, looks bad the next outing. This is a very bad cutter. Smash to left. So 2 home runs mixed in here. This ball's now 99. Home run down the line. Next at bat. Also off of Senga. Fastball. Stays inside that to right. So another hit there. Next one is off of Warren.
3-2 coming to Tolbert. And he bounces
Ooh, chopper. Bichette. He's beat about 4 balls out in the infield. Nice job there. And now off of Brazabon. Another chopper. Bichette whiffs it. Lindor can't make that play. It's the old run prevention Mets. And then one play here versus Seelinger, which I felt horrible for this dude. Major league debut. Another infield hit for Tolbert. So what'd he get, like 6? What'd he get, like 6 infield hits in this stretch? But congrats to him. I mean, ties an all-time record. 12 consecutive plate appearances with a hit. That's wild. So I thought that was something fun to check in on for a second. 12 in a row. They were saying on the SNY broadcast, Senga's cutter, slider, sweeper are an issue for him. There's some issues for him. I would agree with that. Speculation that Lindor might get traded to the Yankees. My speculation is that will not happen, but I've been wrong before. I'd be surprised if Cashman pulled the trigger on that, personally. Think about it. Lindor's got 5 more years on his deal. He's headed into his mid-30s. You have a big-time prospect you probably believe in Lombard at AAA to play shortstop. Depending on the price is always the thing, but I don't see it working for the Yankees personally. Just an old ex-JUCO guy, faced belt at the JUCO College World Series. He crushed me. He crushed me. He absolutely owned me. Ooh, the other day you had on a Mets London Series top. Did you come over for the games they played? Yes. I pitched in 2 London Series. I pitched in the 2019 London Series, Yankees Red Sox. Pitched in both of those games. I think I got the win in the second game. And then I pitched in one of the 2, Phillies Mets in 2024. Yeah, came in losing in the game that we lost. Pitched, I think I got 1 out. Maybe Whit Merrifield, something like that. Whit Merrifield, maybe 1 other out, maybe 2 outs. But loved playing in the London Series. That was a lot of fun. Exhausting, but a lot of fun. Really enjoyed being there. And I should be back in London later in the summer, actually, for Royal Ballet Academy with my daughter, which would be pretty cool. All right. I got to do my studying here soon. How was your mentality facing a guy like Trout or Ohtani, knowing anything in the zone could be 450 plus? It definitely factors in. I mean, you don't want to give up a home run, but no matter what, when you're pitching, you always have to believe that you're better than the guy in the box. You have to find a way to get that edge and understand that you can make pitches, to these guys. None of those guys ended up clipping me. They got some hits off me, struck them both out. But it's just about risk reward. You'd love to face those guys with 2 outs and nobody on and just take your best shot in the zone. But sometimes the situation dictates, you pitch a little bit differently. But I don't know. It's different when you're young. Like when you're young and you face like a legend, like I faced Chipper Jones or Ichiro or some shit like that. Like you definitely look at them like, holy cow, I can't believe I'm facing them. But when you get older, what's that Drake line? Like your idols become your rivals or whatever. So you have to look at it that way. What was the most fun season? Probably, I mean, I had a couple really great really fun ones. Both 2018 and 2019. I think 2019 with the Yankees was so fun. I had so much fun there. So that was such a fun year, even though I stunk in the playoffs and we lost. Thoughts on Verlander's last season? Well, it's a shame. Great teammate, loved him with the Mets when we were together. Just saw him the other day. I mentioned the other day, so I kind of knew about this already. It sucks. He had a dream of pitching to 45. I think he wanted 4,000 strikeouts, 300 wins, like a lot of things. But, the body tells you when it's time, and it stinks. You're seeing it with Max a little bit too. He's been hurt a lot, Scherzer. So I don't know. These guys are great, impressive. JV's longevity and success, all of it's so impressive. So always been kind of in awe about him. Haven't even tried to get Evan Phillips on yet, but we'll see. We'll see. All right. Who else was on the list today? Who else was on the list today? There was another pitcher that I wanted to look at. I'm going to skip over Miz. Matthew Boyd might be worth looking at. He might be the next guy. I know Payton Tolle is another possibility as well. As well as Skubal. Let's look at Matthew Boyd. Fresh off the IL, he's an important piece for the Cubbies. They don't exactly have the most inspiring rotation right now, especially with Ben Brown out. You see what he's good at. He's good at getting you to swing and miss, and he doesn't walk you. You want to talk about a guy who has a good breaking ball package? Matthew Boyd's that guy. Really good execution in his game. But, yeah, lacking a little bit of velocity, tends to give up hard contact. So there's always a little bit of doubt cast upon a guy like Matthew Boyd. As for this season, he's made 8 starts, 4.31, and this is after last night's good start, so he needed this bounce back. See, last year, he was starting game 1 of postseason and stuff, 31 game starts with a 3.21. I mean, that's a truly, really, really good season. Anyway, game logs. When was his previous start to this? Well, he's been back for 3 games now. He was out from 5-3 all the way to 6-25. Came back on 6-25 versus the Mets with 4 2/3 scoreless, yet 4 walks. Then he pitched versus the Padres, 5 innings, 3 runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts. And then he finally faces the Orioles yesterday, 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. So let's timeout. Let me actually go to it, look at his pitch mix, and then we'll speed watch that game. Mention it one more time. 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, no runs. Breakdown, 42 four-seamers, 21 changeups, and then the 2 breaking balls that I like a lot, 20 sliders and 10 curveballs. Feel like he had more mix than this before, no? Has he always been just 4 pitches? He had a sinker. Did he have some other stuff last year? Nope, it's pretty much just the 4 pitches. At one point it was 5 more sinkers, but he's actually gone away from his sinker. So he's reversing course from where a lot of people were. So this is going to be Orioles and Cubbies from yesterday. Matthew Boyd. So let's speed watch this outing. Let's see what we see. First batter is Taylor Ward. He's going to punch him out on a 4-seam. 94. That's very good velo for Matthew Boyd. Fastball up. Smell you later. 1 out. Next up is Adley Rutschman. Changeup. Gets him out front. Bad location, but definitely had him off timing. Little fly ball out to Happ. 2 outs, and then it's going to be a hit from Gunnar Henderson. Man, nice swing. Gunnar Henderson has got such a good swing. I like Gunnar a lot. 104.5, little line drive up the middle, base hit. Here comes Pete. 1-2 changeup. Gets him to chase below the zone and a little weak pop up in the infield. Caught by Nico. All right, that's the first inning. Second inning here. Boyd versus Mayo. Wow, if they challenge, that's a strike, but they do not challenge. So leadoff walk to Mayo. That's going to bring up Sayo. 4-seam coming here.
Just a bald-faced lie.
Kind of comes out and around that. Ooh, good recovery by Bush to get the out. So man on second, 1 out. Long at bat here with Blaze Alexander. Going to get him with a changeup. Looks like the changeup quite effective. Also really good positioning here by the Cubs. Because off the bat, this felt like a double. 109 off the bat, lined not that close. Not that far away from the line, but they have Happ playing over. Good scouting there. Really good scouting there. So he could have given up a run there. That was hard contact, but it ended up working out. And then he's going to get Beavers out here to end the second inning on a fastball. Kind of middle. Comes up off of that, pops it up. More action for Haps. That's 2 innings. Third inning. Jackson Holiday called strike 3 on a fastball. Catches him looking. Back to the top. Taylor Ward, 0-2 count. Change up. Changeup's been very effective. Very effective. Changeup off the plate away. Stays in for Bush. 2 outs there. And then another hit. It's going to be Rushman. Good swing by Rushman. So the changeup's been super effective. I mean, that's not hit hard. That's great coverage by Adley Rushman. Base hit right there. Then a 3-pitch strikeout to Gunnar. So let's watch all 3 of these pitches. Wow. First pitch, left on left changeup. I love the creativity here. That's beautiful. Slider off of that. Gets the foul ball, and then he's going to go 2 speeds down to the curveball for the strikeout. So changeup, slider, curveball sequence to Gunnar. Pretty nasty 3-pitch strikeout to end the third for Boyd. 4th inning. Pete Alonso's going to start off with a hit. Yep, fastball middle down, on time for that. Exit velocity guess, 110. 112, yeah. Got to give Polar Pete always a high estimate. All right, so leadoff hit there, and then a hit by pitch. So he got himself in a little bit of trouble here to start off the 4th. Hit by pitch, curveball off the toe. And now Basayo, he's going to end up punching him out. Slider. Chase Slider. He's another one that I think messes with his arm slot. Slider. Watch curveball. All right, here. Curveball. Slider. Show me fastball. Here's fastball. All right, fastball. Slider. That's lower for sure. Slider much lower than fastball. I can't draw on this one, I don't think, but yeah. Higher, lower, and then curveball way higher. So he's talking 3 different arm slots here. About middle ground for the 4-seam, higher for the curveball, way lower for the slider. Curveball to slider, it's super obvious. So anyway, just want to point that out. Nobody seems to be, able to hit that. Nobody's like seeing that and crushing him or whatever. Just want to point that out. All right, 1 and 2 needs to make a pitch here. Slider back foot to Alexander. So let's actually watch this whole at bat because he struck out Basayo, but now he's got a righty who had a good swing off him the first time. 4-seam middle gets away with the first pitch. Second pitch 4-seam here.
2 on, 1 out, 1-0 Cubs lead in the 4th.
No, it doesn't mean he's tipping. It means that he's understanding where he has to get his hand to create each shape, and he's not worrying as much about where his arm slot is. Mitch says it's about a 5-inch difference. I tend to agree with that. And I don't think the hitters can really tell, or at least they can't tell enough to take advantage of it. That would be what I would want to point out there. 2-2 fastball up, speeds him up, and then this is a really good wipeout breaking ball to the back foot. Yeah, so really good execution of his breaking ball to punch his way out of the first 2 batters there. And then he's going to punch out the 3rd batter, Beavers, as well with a slider. So, phenomenal job by Boyd. 2 on, nobody out, strikeout. 5th inning, Jackson Holiday.
It just went when he went to get the Lego. So Gunnar Henderson and Colton Cowser, beware. Lego injuries are a thing as Holiday grounds out.
I do not. I think that the arm slot is not an issue at all. I just want to show you that that's how he does it. So for a lot of pitchers that think they have to have it all exactly perfect all the time, it's a fallacy. Left on left changeup gets Holiday to roll over that, and we're back to the top of the order. Taylor Ward's going to walk. He's actually quite good at that.
Typically a fastball count for Boyd.
And now we're going to get an in-play outs to Rushman. Ooh, jams him with the four-seam. Dansby to Nico. Double play. So a very efficient fifth inning. Earns himself a sixth inning. And it's Gunnar Henderson. First out is coming on a four-seamer dotted down and away. Good location with that four-seam there. That was a little bit of a risky pitch, but he located it really well. 1-1 changeup to Pete. So he's going to get Pete out twice with changeups. Yeah, twice Pete was out front. Hit this ball well, but loses his legs just a touch. That's why he doesn't get that out over the fence. Only 99.7. We all know when Pete hits it, it's about 110. So just misses this. Savant also has arm degrees by pitch. Boyd is 14 degrees on slider, 24 on fastball, 31 on curveball. So there it is. You got it. There it is, and you can see it visually what we were just talking about. Great comment, Dinger Singer. Appreciate that. All right, so that's 2 outs, and then he's going to finish up his outing with a strikeout to Mayo. It's going to be another one of those back footers. Yup, beautiful back foot slider. I mean, this is just beautiful execution. This pitch has got 2-plane break. It's sweeping across the zone, and then it has that late give. You commit right around here, and then just yeep. So I thought Boyd looked really sharp in this game. I love the way he bared down when he got into trouble the one time. And look, I mean, he's not going to wow you anymore, but this is a quality arm that's going to help push the Cubbies towards the top of the division if they can chase down the Brewers, but certainly into the postseason. And then from there, you kind of figure it out. I do think that's the one issue when you're looking at the Cubs. There's not a lot of high-end nastiness headed into a postseason, which I think would be, desirable. You think about the Cubs rotation right now with a couple of their guys out. And, I don't think it matches up with some of the other actual threats for the World Series. As much as I like their lineup and their defense, gosh, if they could just be a little more complete on the mound, I would feel great about it. But Imanaga, Assad, Boyd, Ray, and Peterson, not exactly the most inspiring group of nastiness. And then even in the bullpen, with Palencia not in there right now, Webb, Thornton, Thielbar, I mean, it's just not a lot of brand names. So to me, that's a little bit of a red flag if you're thinking about them for the postseason. Now, if they could have Ben Brown, Edward Cabrera, that would help a lot. Obviously, Cade Horton's out for the year. That sucks. J-Mo is another guy that's like sort of in the Boyd category for me. Great for regular season. Actually does pitch pretty well in the postseason, but he's not scaring you per se. And then bullpen-wise, I mean, there's a lot of velocity just sitting here on the IL, particularly Palencia, Hunter Harvey. So Cubs have a lot going on. I still love their offense and their defense, but not so sure about that pitching, to be honest. Although Boyd, I thought, looked pretty good right there. Yeah, we mentioned it for a second. I mean, I said Spec. I figured this out the other day when I was actually with JV. I kind of knew he was getting picked for this game and that it was the end of the road for him here, but didn't know if it was actually going to come out or how that was going to play. So he's an all-time legend, though. So be cool if he can pitch in that game or if he can get healthy. I don't even know if he can get healthy in time for that game. I think it's mostly a leg issue. It's not even arm anymore. It's crazy. Kind of agree with this one. Don't know if anybody's chasing down Milwaukee, but if anybody would be, I would think it would be the Cubs. They've had two 10-game winning streaks this year. Have not done Tolle, have not done Skubal, already did Skenes and Wheeler. If you want to rewind on the YouTube, you can go and check those guys out. From pitching, yes. From pitching, yes. All right, I need to do a little bit of, you know what? God, I don't know. I did Yuri the other day. I really need to do a couple. I only have like 20 more minutes left in the stream, and I'd like to do my studying go through the research stuff tonight. But I'm tempted to quickly roll through Tolle for a moment. Yeah, you see me. All right, let's run through Tolle really quick. So Payton Tolle, I mean, look, we've been on him from the beginning. Special fastball. He's actually shown a lot of growth in his other pitches this year as well. He pitched well in the Yankee game where he was sick on normal rest, but for the most part in his career, he's only pitched well with extra rest. And that's something I've worried about with Payton a little bit. Like, is he great when he's not feeling perfect? Is he a guy who can pitch without his best stuff? Now, it hasn't mattered yet. 14 starts, 3.14. He's been genuinely pretty damn good this year for the Red Sox. And he pitches well in this game we're about to watch right now, which I believe is against the White Sox. But yeah, I wonder about that a little bit. So let's just take a peek at how he got it done this game and what was playing, what wasn't playing, if the fastball was as special as always or what have you. But, man, the Red Sox young lefties are fun to watch. So here's the outing. 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts on 91 pitches. Player breakdown on Tolle, 41 unicorn, 4 seamers, 20 sinkers, 15 cutters, trying to go full Schlittler here. 11 curves, 4 changeups. Velocity was good, a little bit above his average. So that's good for him. I like when he averages over 96 plus. To me, that's like, it sounds dumb, but I think 96, like when he's over 96, he's elite. When he's below, not as elite. As crazy as that is. Only 3 hard hit balls. All right, let's check it out. White Sox, Red Sox. We're going to do Tolle, and then we're going to do some research, and then that's it. Tolle, and we're going to speed watch him too. All right, Payton Tolle, the mustache man. He's going to start off the game with the walk to Vargas. And I love the White Sox young course. This is no easy task pitching in the South Side versus this club. But leadoff walk to Vargas. Long at bat here, and he ends up punching out Grichuk on a high cutter. So a little bit of a happy accident. Game doesn't start off as smooth as he would like to. But high cutters do play. Guys tend to swing under them. That's what happened here. So that's the first out. Next up is a 1-pitch out to Montgomery. Absolutely blows him up with a sinker. They can only get the 1 out, but this was a really quality pitch in on the hands of Colson. I love that he's added the sinker. He uses it a lot versus lefties. Great location there. So give him big kudos for that pitch. Nice pitch there. And then he'll finish the first inning on a fastball to Meadroth. Now, this wasn't a good location. It was down. It was 98. He did mishit it, and he's through the first inning. Second inning, leadoff hit from Antonacci, my guy. Left-on-left sinker. Pulls it through the 4-hole. So leadoff man on. Now Perez, sinker down. Good pitch to hit, doesn't hit it. So got a little fortunate on a couple sinkers down. And now here's my other guy, Kyle Teal, former Red Sox. Cutter away off the end of the bat. Good pitch. Almost double play. A little lazy line out to shortstop. What's a unicorn pitch? It's a special pitch, like a pitch that nobody else really has. Payton Tolle's fastball is special for a million different reasons. HAA, VAA, spin rate, speed, ball movement, literally everything. Throwing left-handed, it's a very unique pitch. Probably a top 3 fastball in the big leagues, 4-seam fastball. All right, off the end, floater out there. That's the 1 out there. Here is Luis Angel Acuna. That 4-seam beats him in, pops it up. Can of corn, and he's through 2. Third inning. Called strike 3 to Tristan Peters on a 4-seam away. That ball's all over the zone. So there's a little punch out on a fastball there. Here's an out on a changeup to Vargas. That was up to the second time through the order. I've always liked this changeup. It's clearly a kick change with its low spin rate or a splitter. 987 RPM on this one. So it also has like kind of a weird movement to it. Like if you look at it, it's only, I don't know, negative 12.6 and 2.5. But I think if he could master this pitch, this would be great off of his fastball. So this was encouraging to see. A little changeup, and Vargas is way out in front of it and pops that up. So that's 2 outs in the third. And here is 3 outs in the third. It's that screaming fastball at 97. Grichuk is not quick enough for that. Flips it out there. Nice play by Siegler. And that's the end of the third inning. Ooh, and some nice head taps. You gotta love this guy's body language. It's amazing. Wham, 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 wham. All right, 4th inning. Montgomery, sinker in again. This time it's middle. But they have him well positioned. Easy ground out there. Nice recovery by Contreras. 1 out in the 4th. Second up, Meadroth, changeups. He's gotten like 3 outs on changeups. 2 or 3 outs on changeups. That's encouraging. Beats that one on the ground. Here's a hit from Antonacci. Man, Antonacci's so tough. Sticks the bat out, flips it into left. Base hit for Antonacci. All right, long at bat with Perez, and then the fastball is going to beat him. Good pass at that. Doesn't quite get it. Flies it out pretty deep. Willier's on that, and that is 4 innings. 5th inning. Strikeout coming on a fastball to Teal. That's just middle down in. That's a pitch that Kyle usually hits. But again, this guy's fastball is amazing, and it shows up right there. Another strikeout here. Ooh, changeup. Let's watch this whole at bat. This is nasty. Fastball in, strike, and it's low. That sets the trap for the changeup later. Fastball up, speeds him up even more, and then changeup off that low tunnel. See you later. Beautiful sequence. Changeup. Changeup. Let's go, Payton Tolle. You're impressing me with this changeup. All right, Peters sinker in a 1-2-3 fifth inning. You got to love Payton Tolle antics. Check out Payton Tolle's antics on this pop-up. Got to love it. Hey, we gotta make sure you guys can see this antics. Guy's the best. Hey. God, I love this guy. All right, so that was it for what? The fifth inning, did we say? Yes. All right, sixth inning, last inning. Miguel Vargas called out on strikes on a sinker. Front door sinker? That's the first time I've ever seen him actually do that. Oh, and he knew I want to watch this whole at bat. So is he work him away, and then stick him in? Away with the sinker. Ooh, in with the four seam. Okay. Four seam in, fouled off. Curveball, poked foul. Front door sinker, dot. Oh, what a pitch. I've never seen him do that. If he can do that, oof, watch out. And then another fastball. Tried it again. Grichuk missed over the middle. Misses over the middle here. They try to do the same thing again, but it's still played and beats him to the spot because it's 97. Man, he was carving here at the end. Super locked in. And then his last batter of the game is Montgomery. Jams him with another sinker. So he actually got Colson out 3 times at sinkers. So, hey, really good sinkers, really good changeups. Fastball still played. Sequences were good. He pounded the strike zone. I'm seeing a lot of growth in Payton Tolle. I really am. He's starting to show signs that he can pitch, and he has enough weapons to maybe make do if he doesn't have his best fastball. He's had his best fastball a lot, and that's great. But, man, the changeup was super effective right there. He only threw 4 of them all game, but they were really well located that we saw. A lot with 2 strikes. Sinker was a big pitch to the lefties. I don't know. That was good, and you got to love the young Red Sox lefties. Early, Tolle, and Mr. Bennett, of course. So that's pretty cool. How often do you go live? Pretty much Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to noon, although today we're doing a little bit later, noon to 2. And then sometimes I do Baseball After Dark on Saturday nights, although right here in the middle of the summer, it's mostly just weekdays. So 5 days a week, at least. All right, last thing on the day is looking at some game notes from my broadcast tonight. All right, we're not going to cover any more pitchers. We're going to go into the land of game notes for the Phillies and the Reds tonight. So first, we're going to hop into these Sarah Lang notes, the superstar researcher of ESPN. Highest bullpen walk rates since saves became an official stat in 1969. 2026 Cincinnati Reds, 13.6% walk percentage. Second highest ever behind the 2000 Pirates. So that's something that we'll be paying attention to today after Chase Burns comes out of the game is, will these dudes throw strikes? Will they throw strikes? Teammates in the home run derby, because we've been wondering if Harper and Schwarber will participate. There's been plenty of them over the years. Most recently, Javier Baez and Kyle Schwarber in 2018 for the Cubs. Phillies' current streak of 9 consecutive innings where their opponent batted and scored at least a run is their longest such streak since, I don't know what that means. The turnaround. The Phillies are the 3rd team in MLB history to go 10-plus games under 500 and then be 10-plus games over 500 before their 85th game of the season, joining the 55 Red Sox and 51 Giants. That's actually pretty crazy to have that kind of a turnaround that fast. While it's true they're the first to do this before the end of June, keep in mind the season used to start mid-April. Okay. The Phillies are the first team in MLB history to hit a go-ahead home run in the 9th inning 3 consecutive games. That happened in Washington recently. Kyle Schwarber reached 30 home runs in the Phillies' 84th game, the fewest team games to 30 home runs in franchise history. Most home runs in first 5 seasons with a team. Babe Ruth, 235 with the Yankees. Mark McGwire, 220 with the Cardinals. Kyle Schwarber, 217 with the Phillies. That's amazing. What a beast. He's the first player with two 450-plus foot home runs in the same inning under StatCast. He hit one 456 and 457 in the same inning. Phillies with 2 home runs in an inning ever. Kyle Schwarber 2 this year on the 20th. Trey Turner did it. Von Hayes and Andy Seminick. Most games with 3+ home runs in a game for the Phillies ever. Kyle Schwarber has 4 of those, passing Mike Schmidt. Most career games with 3+ home runs ever. Mookie Betts has 6. Sammy Sosa has 5. Johnny Mize 6. Schwarber 5. A-Rod 5. Delgado 5. McGuire 5. Including the postseason, Pujols would join the list. He has 4 regular season, 1 in the 5th. All right, Bryce Harper. With Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber, the Phillies are the second team in MLB history of players with a cycle and 3-run home run game in the same game joining. This is just nonsense. Bryce Harper became the 7th player in the expansion era with a cycle within the first 5 innings of a game. He joined Adrian Beltre, B.J. Upton, Mike Lansing, Greg Jeffries, Ivan DeJesus, and Jimmy Ray Hart. Harper is seeing the lowest percentage of in-zone pitches of any qualifying hitter, and it's nothing new. This was also true in 25, 24, and 23. Most seasons with 20 home runs, as drafted number 1 overall. A-Rod 16, Griffey 15, Chipper 14, Harper 12. So he's in the elite little club of number 1 overall picks who ended up being Hall of Famers. A-Rod, Griffey, Jones, Harper. I know A-Rod's not officially in the Hall of Fame. Brandon Marsh. Brandon Marsh will be the first Phillies outfielder to start the All-Star game since 2009 when Raul Ibanez and Shane Victorino did it. Largest increase in launch angle sweet spot ratio per minimum 2.1 plate appearances team per game each year, and we are missing all of those links. Guess there's a link for that. Brandon Marsh is the biggest climber this year. That's not really a surprise. He's doing much more damage this year. Stott has one of the largest increases in chase rate this year. 4th highest chase rate increase this year over last year is Bryson Stott. Marsh also up on this list. So those guys are swinging more often. Bohm, largest increase of fastballs seen this year. So who has gained a bigger share of fastballs seen this year? Bohm is 8th most. Carroll has gained 8.2% fastballs. Maikel Garcia, Eugenio Suarez, Gavin Sheets, Caratini, Neil Cruz, Casey Schmidt, Alex Bohm. Okay, so they're attacking Bohm more with fastballs. Got it. Sal Stewart. Sal Stewart is the 7th rookie in Reds history to make the Midsummer's Classic. The first since Scott Williamson in 1999. First Reds position player since Chris Sabo. Most games with 6 RBIs in a season, age 22 or younger. Hal Trotsky with 3, Sal Stewart with 2, tying Jimmy Fox, Yordan Alvarez, and Mel Ott. Largest decreases in slugging percentage. This is going to be Eugenio Suarez, Cal Raleigh, Austin Wells, George Springer, Aaron Judge, which is funny because it's still 533, showing how high it was last year at 688. And then Eugenio Suarez, 526 last year, 374 this year. I think the increase in fastballs makes sense. I mean, we just watched him, doing his dive and pull on a breaking ball home run routine that he's been doing for his whole career. We just watched him do that off of Wheeler. So you can't do that as much on fastballs. You're going to get beat. So it makes sense that he's seeing more fastballs. All right, that's it for these notes. These are not my favorite ones. I also have some in the files. All right. ESPN research, Phillies TBD at Reds Burns, Wednesday, 7 Eastern time on ESPN. Check us out. Since Don Mattingly's first game as interim manager on April 28th, the Phillies are 41-21, 20 over 500. That's the second best record in the majors behind the Brewers, who are one or a half game better. They were 9-19 under Rob Thompson, tied with the Mets for the worst record through April 27th. They are 18-6 in one-run games this season, including 14-2 since Mattingly took over. Phillies pitchers have a 25.4% strikeout rate this season, second highest in the bigs, behind Milwaukee. Yohan Duran has the second largest increase in strikeout rate. He's up to 39.5% this year, so he's getting way more punchies. According to Sports Info Solutions, the Phillies have negative 33 DRS. That's the second worst mark in the majors behind the Twins. So that's something that's holding the Phillies back a little bit. We know about their offensive firepower, especially at the top. Especially at the top of the order. And we love their rotation and some of their relievers, but defensively they've been really bad. Phillies will have 5 players at the All-Star game: Duran, Harper, Marsh, Sanchez, and Schwarber. That's tied with the Braves and the Dodgers for most. Harper was selected as a Legends pick. That's amazing because he could have made it on his own merit probably. Most 20 home run seasons among active players: Big G, Giancarlo Stanton has 14 of those. Harper 12, Freeman 12. Harper 905 career OPS and Mike Trout 972 OPS are the only active players who have both a career OPS above 900 and at least 1,000 ribbies. Legends. 10 of 15 of Marsh's home runs have come since June 1st, most on the team. He has had a power binge of late. We'll keep an eye on that today, see if that comes in. Schwarber is on pace for 55 home runs this season. That would be one shy of his career high. This is most home runs in a season for the Phillies. Ryan Howard, Big Philly, had 58 in 06. Schwarber, 56 in 2025. So right behind Big Philly, Ryan Howard. Also, Howard had 48 in 08, and Mike Schmidt had 48 in 1980. Consecutive seasons with 30 home runs prior to the All-Star break. Kyle Schwarber, this year, Judge, Sosa, Griffey, and McGuire. Pretty good company there. Trey Turner. Trey Turner is batting .333 with 20 runs scored over his last 18 games, so he's definitely hitting better. I'd like to see his defense turn around a little bit. It's been a little tough defensively. Cincinnati Reds. After making an unexpected run to the postseason last year, the Reds are plus 1,500 to make the postseason this season at DraftKings. Cincinnati has not won a playoff series since '95, the longest active drought in the league. Last playoff series win around the league: Reds 1995, White Sox 05, Angels 09. I think it was 2012 or 2014 that the Reds had a 2-0 series lead against the Giants and lost 3 in a row in the wild card round. Crazy. Cincinnati batting .228 as a team this season, which is 29th in the majors. That's their issue. They got some starting pitchers. They don't have a good enough bullpen or hitting. It's incredible. They've had so many young guys that look like they were going to be a part of the core, and they haven't really panned out yet. There's only been a few guys. I mean, really disappointing from Steer, I would say, certainly McLean. Red skipper Tito, Terry Francona, has 2,074 career wins, most of any manager active. He's 11th all time. He's coming up on Joe McCarthy and Bucky Harris. Chase Burns, who's starting tonight, 10-1, 2.4 ERA, 116 strikeouts and 17 starts this season. First-time All-Star. Second in wins, fifth in ERA, third in K rate, fifth in opponent batting average, and second in miss rate in the National League. First pitcher since Johnny Cueto in 2014 to record 10 wins and 100 punches in a season prior to the All-Star break. Johnny Baseball. He has the second most B WAR this season behind Christopher Sanchez. Burns. Don't sleep on Burns for the NL Cy Young as well. He's got a shot, although I think it's going to be tough to be this good for the whole season. But we'll see. Burns has 55 out-of-the-zone strikeouts with his slider this season, the most any pitcher has with a specific pitch. And that's something I'm going to be talking about on the broadcast today, is just how well his fastball and his slider tunnel and why his slider is one of the best in the big leagues. Did Brett get in the chat? This is a very long show. No, it's not. This is normal. I'm about to be off in like 3 minutes. All right, JJ Blaze, 13 home runs this season, are the most he's had in the first half of a season in his career. He has not homered in a season where it's 18 straight games, though. So was hot, not as hot now. Good to know. Ellie De La Cruz has already missed 19 games this season. He played most of the previous 2. He is 2 home runs shy of becoming the second player ever to have 75 home runs and 150 steals before 25. So he's in good company there with Cesar Cedeno as a young player that's super dynamic. Spencer Steer has hit 7 home runs since the start of June. Third largest increase in barrel rate. So he's selling out for more power, clearly, Spencer Steer, but it's making him an easy out otherwise, but he does have a little more thump. Sal Stewart was named All-Star Game, first Reds rookie to make it since Williamson. We said that. These are the Reds rookies in history. Stewart, Williamson, Sabo, Wayne Simpson, Johnny Bench, Frank Robinson. Stewart leads all rookies in home runs, RBIs, extra base hits, and walks. I think he's got a really good shot at Rookie of the Year. Gino Suarez signed a 1-year, $15 million contract with the Reds. He's struggling, 206, 8 home runs, 31 ribs. Might have hit a 9th home run off Wheeler yesterday, but again, seeing more fastballs and struggling. So anyway, that's our game notes for the day. We should be good for the game tonight. I feel like I got my head wrapped around it. We'll see what the Phillies do on the mound. But that's going to be it for the stream today. Thanks for everybody hanging with me. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll do the stream from home after my morning flight. So appreciate all you guys, and I will see you guys later. All right. Have a great rest of your day, and thanks for hanging with me on the stream today. Catch me on ESPN tonight, 7 o'clock. Reds, Phillies. Be there. Hear me make a fool of myself or dominate the broadcast, one or the other. You never know what you're going to see. All right. Have fun. Talk to you guys later. Adios.